Hello YouTube, Ben Witter here with my Samsung Galaxy Note 10.1, bringing you two of my favorite note-taking apps, Samsung's S Note and Lecture Notes from the marketplace. So if you're like me and you like to use your tablet as a notebook replacement, it can be confusing as to which app might best fit your needs. So hopefully this review can give you a better starting point as to which app you want to use for your daily notebook. Personally, I don't know which one is better. They both have their benefits, they both have their downsides, but they are both great apps and they will get what you need to get done. Just a little bit of background information before I get started. The S Note comes with the Samsung Galaxy Note 10.1, and Lecture Notes you can get online on the Play Store for any tablet for $4.19. It is packed with a ton of features and the customer service is great. If you look at some of the reviews online, most of them talk about how great the developer is at getting back to their emails and even incorporating their ideas into the next update of the app. So that is definitely a plus. Without any further delay, let's get into it. So basically, we will get started with the S Note first. So when you pull out the pen, one of the neat things about it is you get the sidebar that comes up over here, and that allows you to just quickly access S Note. That's one feature that Lecture Notes doesn't have. So when we click on that, we have our notebooks, different types of notebooks that we can create. So if we go into notebooks, let's go into practice works. You can see some of the stuff I've already created, but you get a nice little feature here where you can just easily review your notebooks, or your pages, excuse me. But then you go into editing mode, which is right over here. We click on that, and then you can start writing. So unique thing about S Note is that you have pressure sensitive pens, so as you can see, like if I were to write very softly, let me go to a pencil that does that. To make it thicker, you can tell easier. You can see how that starts getting thicker like that. You can change the size of your eraser here to quickly erase things pretty easily, which is nifty. Lecture Notes actually has, in my opinion, a better, more efficient eraser, but we'll get to that later. So yeah, you can quickly change the color to what you want the color to be, pencil thickness, different styles of pencils. You have a highlighter, you can change the transparency of it, change the thickness of it. So, but what really matters is the overall quality. Sometimes with this has palm rejection, which works pretty nicely, but sometimes your hand will hit these scroll bars, which will kind of move you away because that isn't palm rejected. But for the most part, it works really well. So if I were to write here, like, see, like, it jumps every now and then when you put your hand right down, but once you start writing with your hand down, it works really well. Another unique feature is the shape effects, which is something that I really enjoy about this app. So you can quickly draw graphs like that. Makes it very easy for taking notes in class. Draw triangles, different shapes, but definitely the graph I use most. Also, long ovals, so if you're drawing like a distillation tower, you can do stuff like this really easily. See, it also has a unique feature which sometimes can be useful, but sometimes it doesn't work very well, is the formula match. So let's say we have a formula like y equals x squared plus 2x minus 3. it'll see that there, and you can just simply insert it in. You can also do, as you can see right here, a little search function that lets you go online, and it uses Wolfram Alpha to search it, but it turns your formulas into a nicer format, and you can move it around, resize it and stuff, as you can see. You also have your typical typing stuff that you can do, but keyboards, it's hard to type on a keyboard for tablets. I don't know about you, but I always have some issues with that. We'll go ahead and get rid of that. But this also has what's called handwriting to text, which I don't necessarily like this feature that much. See, I can come here and just write different things, and it'll put it wherever I want in a text box. But then you have these these navigation features up here. I have to navigate back and forth, and it's a little tedious, and it just kind of loses its luster when you do that. So what I like to do instead is I like to come to this typing thing, and I'll change the keyboard here. Oops, not that. I'll change the keyboard here to the writing, and now I can just write down here what I want, and it automatically puts it up there. I can easily navigate down here. If I wanted to change anything, I can change the font, the size of the text, bold, italics, underline. I can come over to paragraph. I can indent it, change the line spacing, make it smaller. I'll give you an example of that, what I did here in class. So, see, as you can see, I was able to type and bullet a lot of information, do my own peaks here, or do some drawings, but get a lot of information handwritten, change the color, underline it. So that's one of the features that you have. Some more features you have over here. You can insert pictures and videos, and so like if you were to take a picture of the board in class, you can insert the picture in there and then just directly write over it. They have different shapes and stuff you can add to help with your diagrams. You can use right here what says voice memo, so you can basically just record your lecture and then go back and listen to it later. They also have a unique feature called record sketching. It only works for the handwriting, that you can record what you draw. So like if I were drawing a graph, and I went like that, and I want to show that this was X and this was Y, but I wanted to see exactly the way I drew that. When I were to go back into just the normal view mode, I can hit play. As you can see what I would just drew. Which this would be very useful when you have those professors that constantly go back over what they wrote, and it's just hard to follow your notes because it's all over the place. So that is just generally the features for S Note. Very useful, very quick, very fluent. One more thing, you can easily share it here. You can share it to, you pick which pictures you want to share, so we'll share that one. You can save it or share it as an S Note file, PDF, an image file. So if we would click image, it would just turn it into a picture. And we can put it to Google Drive, Dropbox, email, whatever you want. Just back out of that. But that's basically S Note. There's a lot of cool functional features in there that allow you to take notes quickly, and I really like this app. It does the job, and I use this all the time in class. But that's basically it for this one. So next we have lecture notes, which is this app right here. And as you can see, it's a little different format. You can change basically everything inside this app, which is something I really like. There's a whole bunch of stuff you can do with it, but it does take time and a lot of fiddling with to figure out. So, well, I guess we'll just go back and we'll just start from scratch. We'll go new notebook. We'll show you how this works. So here you got the new notebook. So if you're making a new notebook, let's just call this test. Now you can change the paper color down here, which we'll just leave as white. The pattern color, which we'll make it a light blue. And you can change the book cover. So we'll just make it, I don't know, red. You can also change the different types of paper. You know, plain, you can image paper, ruled, or checkered. You can change the size of your checkered, which is something S-Note doesn't have. You can also do custom, which isn't very useful because if you were to go to custom, see how it says enter JavaScript code. So basically you have to know Java coding and program your own, which is in the help section. There's a little description on how to write it and what some of the things you can say, but if you're not into computer engineering or computer programming, it's basically useless, which is something that kind of bothers me because I wish I could make a bunch of different stuff, but I don't know computer programming well enough to do things like that. So anyway, we'll just hit create and open. Alas, here we are. It comes with 12 standard pencils and 12 custom pencils and different shapes and stuff that you can make. So we'll just go ahead with the writing, and as you can see, it writes really smooth. But this also has pressure sensitive pencils, as you can see. It also has what I was talking about earlier with the better eraser. You can do what's called lasso by just circling what you want to erase, and it'll erase it. You have different types of erasers, ultra fine, so you can do stuff like that thin to ultra thick, that thick. You can make different highlighters and stuff. So, like if I were to write, this is important, I can just highlight that real quick, as you can see. One thing it is lacking in is the input of text. It's been updating it and it's been slowly getting better, but it's still not as high of a quality as the S-Note was, which is something that kind of saddens me, but it makes up for it with all of its other capabilities. So, like, we can type or write what we want, and you can do that. But the thing, unfortunately, like, you really can't change the style or the font size that easily. You can change the color and stuff, but it's just kind of not easy to follow, and I'm sure in another couple updates we'll get that fixed and working better. So I don't know if you noticed, but you can see these dotted lines down this side. Basically what that allows me to do is, if I'm writing, let's say I'm writing my name, when I pass that, it'll automatically move the screen over, and then I can keep writing. So, and once I get to the end of the page, it'll jump down to the new line and let me keep writing. So if, let's say like I'm just writing, moves over, keep writing, oh, jump down. So if I were to zoom in, it's really useful when you're zoomed in a lot. So let's say I'm zoomed in to 1,000%, which is another unique feature about this. You can zoom in a lot farther than you could on the S Note. But let's say a little too zoomed in, so we'll zoom out just a little bit. But I am writing, and this lets me write quickly and efficiently. And as you can see on this, I can rest my hand on the screen, no problem, and nothing else happens. Which was on the S Note, you had that issue with the scroll bar. But yeah, so as you can see, when you zoom out, you can see what you wrote. So we'll zoom out all the way. Let's just go ahead and clear this page. But the downside to the total palm rejection is I can't use my two fingers to zoom in or anything, so you always have to use the scroll bar, which is nice, or which can be nice. You can change that setting so you can have two finger scrolling, but then you have that same problem with the scroll bar as you did in the S Note. This also has shapes, but it only has squares, circles, and straight lines, which, like, one of the features I don't like about this is it's hard to get a perfectly straight line. It doesn't like having auto perfectly horizontal and auto perfectly vertical. There's a way around that by going to the square and just making it super thin, but sometimes that happens. But one of the really useful features that I really like about this that S Note doesn't have is the ability to do this. So let's say I just drew a square. I didn't like that. I can circle that, hit cut, and resize it right here. I can rotate it if I need to, and I can move it around. So let's say that's good. You can also, with this, circle it, fill that color that you circled. We'll go entire section, and it'll just do that. If I don't really know the purpose of that, you can also copy it. So if you have a graph and you want to just quickly copy it and start writing more information on it, you can just quickly copy it like that. And you don't always have to do freehand. You can just have it be like a square like that. Copy it and move it over. Rotate it around. I don't know why it's not rotating. There we go, kind of getting it. Anyway, so that's one of the features that is very useful. You can just have free hand mode where you can just use your hand and do things like that. And then this, you can also share it, export to PDF, import image. Let's go to Notebook Overview. When you're here, you can select which image or which page you want to share tag pages. We can share it to Gmail as an image or whatever we wanted to. Tablet. Another cool thing is you can index your pages. Oops. You can index your pages by, let's say we're here, we can go index page 1. And you can, let's say this was, the date was May 3rd, 13. So you can index it as that day. So when you're going back and someone's like, hey, what do we do on this day? You can come in and go to your notebook overview, notebook index. Excuse me. Notebook index. And as you can see, you have different indexes. You have a table of contents, and that's where you can easily find your information. You can tag it as anything you want, but that's usually how I would tag it. Go back to settings. They also have different extensions where you can record your record the lecture, but it's a separate app that works together with this one, made by the same developer. But yeah, this is basically it. It has a whole bunch of functionality, very useful, very quick, very fluent, has a lot of benefits, and just an overall solid app with a lot of customizations. So there you have it. 2 great apps, S-Note and Lecture Notes, with a lot of functionality, a lot of customization, and can definitely be used to fit your needs to replace your ordinary notebook. Let me know what you think. Do you like Lecture Notes better? Do you like S-Notes better? Because honestly, I'm having a hard time deciding which one I like better, the first one, S-Note or Lecture Notes. I've been going back and forth trying to figure it out, but both I like equally as much, and it's just making my decision that much harder. So in the comments below, put down what you think is best, and let me know what you typically use for your note-taking app. It may not even be one of these 2 that I went over today. But anyway, leave the comments below, and I hope this helped. See ya.